This is the WGNS Action Line, talking with Rutherford County newsmakers about what matters most to you. Now, your host, Bryan Barrett.
Well, good morning and welcome in to the Action Line. And our focus today is on the Parks and Rec Department in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is always very, very busy no matter the time of the year. Except today, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Today, there's plenty of work to do. Thomas Laird is here to do all the heavy lifting. Right. I mean, when you have to carry the, Nate and Rachel and just everybody.
Well, 'tis the season, right?
Yeah. Well, why I'm here. 'Tis
right,
the season.
Exactly. 'Tis the season.
I know all about that. Boy, it's been a busy December and looking forward to 2026 and all it has. So I'm sure you all have been, you deserve a day off here and there.
Right. They all deserve a day off.
Yeah.
We all do. I'm going to take some time off later. But,
I understand.
2025 was a incredible year for the Parks Department. We saw some improvements to several of our facilities, and then we've seen expansion, the renovation of the Old Fort Ball Field. That's been a huge asset to our community, and as we move into baseball season, it definitely will pay off. So we're excited about all the things that we were able to accomplish last year, and then this coming year we've got several projects in the queue, mainly just deferred maintenance and things that we've needed to take care of, but the parks are looking great. They're open for business, and they'll be closed a little bit for Christmas, but for the most part we encourage everyone to enjoy the parks.
I'm guessing Christmas Day, maybe even Christmas Eve, limited hours.
Right. We close at 5 at our main facilities. The park office is closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself, but Patterson, Sportscom, Adams Tennis, those facilities will be open till 5 on Christmas Eve, and then, of course, they're closed Christmas Day.
Okay. And New Year's Day, I'm sure similar.
New Year's Day, it's very similar.
Yeah.
5 o'clock, and then on New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day will be closed. But moving into 2026, what we're really excited about is we're working on our master plan, trying to lay out the future for the next 5 to 10 years in terms of where do we need to grow? Do we need to add new facilities? Do we need to renovate other facilities? What do we need? And we're really trying to get as much input as we can, not just from the council and commissions, but from our citizens as well. So we'll be launching a campaign, the M-Borough Something for Everyone, and it'll have a survey with it. You'll see those at QR codes at our facilities. We'll have it up on the website, and so just have people look out for that, because that's their opportunity to express what they would like to see within the park systems and where the money for the next 5 years should be allocated.
Yeah, a chance to put some thought to it. What you think the city could benefit from? Absolutely.
We're of course, we'll have the general survey, but we're also meeting with all the stakeholders, all the interest groups. So, if you play pickleball, and we'll have a meeting where those individual groups will have an opportunity to have their voices heard and express what their needs are. And, it'll be a really enlightening experience for us all, I think.
Yeah.
And then with that master plan, that gives council a roadmap to where we're headed and where those dollars will be spent.
Well, be sure to have a separate meeting with the tennis folks.
Absolutely. We will definitely have a tennis and pickleball commission meeting. Yeah. We will do a workshop with that commission itself, the Parks and Recreation Commission. But we're really looking forward to, we've been meeting with our staff this December, trying to kind of practice how these engagement meetings will go, and we've gotten staff input, and it's really been interesting to see where our staff feels like those dollars should be at.
Sure.
And in past plans, staff didn't have a whole lot of input on that, but I think they work in those facilities day in and day out, and
they're hearing from the people too.
Absolutely, they're direct line with the customers. So we have probably one of the best staffs we've ever had in the Parks Department. I've been here 25 years, and we really have some incredible people.
Thomas, the thing about the facilities, I mean, you're going to get different opinions. I just think about sometimes when you all have talked about the Old Fort ball field, for instance, you know what I'm going to say. The next immediate comment is we need more.
Right.
It's always we need more, right?
Absolutely. And, council has recognized that, and they've earmarked allocations in future budgets to address that need. I think acquiring the property and the land is a significant piece right now. So there are people looking at that and going that way. Adding a turf field, that definitely helps us out, in terms of being able to play when the weather's bad. But I think that's kind of the trend, and, I think folks can look forward to that. What'll really help that, though, is if we get, several thousand people filling out this survey, and the general public is telling us that's exactly what we need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're the one with kids who are playing,
right,
or
absolutely.
Some of those adult leagues and things like
Right.
that.
And
so.
unless you have kids playing, you don't really recognize those needs.
Yeah.
So,
or utilizing the park service or SportsCom, or if there's something that you think could be added to
right.
SportsCom.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
That kind of thing.
We want to hear from everyone, and this is a great opportunity for us to get feedback from the general public and from our folks.
And I'm not sure that a lot of people realize, but St. Clair kind of comes up under
Absolutely.
that umbrella
St.
too.
Clair Senior Center is part of the Parks Department, and they do a fantastic job. And I almost feel we'll meet with several groups of the seniors, and of course the general survey will be out for all of them to fill out. But just the space restrictions, that Mark and his team do a fantastic job of programming. There's something to do every single day, but a lot of the more popular classes are full. We just don't have the space right now. So I think that's one need that will come out, is a need for either expanding the existing senior center, or maybe building another facility, or finding another facility that would be suitable.
We have talked here to all kinds of different city officials, but one thing that from this past year that I remember Mayor McFarland saying is that if Blackman were its own city, that it would be a top 10 city in size in the state of Tennessee. And so when
Absolutely.
you've got
right,
you're
right.
seeing that explosive growth.
Right.
And so regionalizing, I guess, offerings is going to be a main key.
Absolutely. That area, like you said, it's similar to Smyrna, so it could support all the amenities that we have on north and south ends of town, a recreation facility, athletic fields, all of that. And we're building the Veterans Park now. It's under construction, and if you've been by there, dirt's moving. It's looking really good. It's scheduled to open next January, so we're really excited about that one. That'll help alleviate some of the relief on the trails and pavilions, unless you're doing family reunions or events. The pavilion rentals are wildly popular, and we can certainly use more of those. So there's a lot of things that we need more of that we've got in the queue, but it'd really be nice to get some insider tips from our citizens as well.
So when should we expect that survey to be out, or those QR codes and stuff?
Well, there's QR codes at the facilities right now. They haven't actually launched the major campaign, but you'll see it's a M-Borough Something for Everyone, that survey QR code, and then if some people want physical copies, we'll have those as well. But at all of our facilities, and they should have it up on the website after the first of the year.
And this will be something that we'll have a few months to take care of?
Right, we'll do that for probably January, February, and then the middle of March we'll try to collect all our data, and that's when it's scheduled to be written into the master plan, and then help. And then the next piece is, once we receive that data, is where we allocate budget dollars over the next few years. And then in June, we'll have council review the plan, and ideally either they'll vote it in, or the next council meeting will make the adjustments so that council can approve it. And then what that really does is open us up for a lot of the state grant dollars, because the grants now are tied to your master plan. It's a requirement for anything larger than a $500,000 grant. So to be able to go in our master plan and here it is that this is the project we want to work on, that opens us up for a lot more grant funding in terms of matching dollars.
Okay, so to give a for instance, the daylighting of the creek was, and some of that's parks, I guess, but
right.
that was in a master plan that had to be presented and then
right.
funds allocated and all for that,
absolutely.
right? Okay.
Right, and we can use, for example, we have a need for athletic fields.
Mm-hmm.
We write that in our master plan when we go to build those athletic fields. It's a good chance that we qualify for matching funds from the state. So if it's a $2 or $3 million project, then we could instead of putting in 2 fields, possibly put in 4.
Yeah. Okay. And possibly turf fields instead
right.
of just grass fields.
Absolutely,
things like
right.
that.
It basically doubles your funding if you're able to do that. So,
and some of that, would that be, to like with existing facilities do upgrades? And I keep going back to the turf, but
right.
maybe turf some of the fields at SportsCom, for instance.
Possibly turf some of those,
Yeah.
some other renovations. We've got restroom or trailheads throughout the system that could use restrooms. So opportunities are out there.
Yeah.
And, while athletic fields is the biggest,
Sure.
outspoken need, we have an unbelievable amount of people that utilize our trails and that network, and there's a lot of maintenance involved with that too. So.
Yeah. Well, and you have to keep in mind that once you build something, there is a maintenance aspect to it.
Absolutely. Right.
And staff that are involved and that kind of thing. And I not to keep belaboring that point, but talking about facilities, during spring fling with the state tournament,
right.
softball fields, sometimes there are adjustments that have to be made that maybe would save hours. But I got to tell you, the maintenance folks really know what they're doing, and to get fields ready to go as
right.
quickly as they can. But that would help with something like that would help.
Right. Well, it's really nice being able to partner with Smyrna. They've got
Sure.
a new facility now. So when we do get those weather issues during spring fling, we are able to not lose the day altogether. We're able to go play. TWSAA, though, the girls softball,
yeah.
Right now they really prefer playing on the dirt.
Yeah.
So matter of fact, the coaches of one of the divisions, they opted to play the next day as opposed to going and playing it on turf. So those trends may shift, but it's nice that we have nice dirt fields to meet that need right now.
Yeah.
Another thing with the spring fling, this year is the first year we'll actually host the sanctioned girls flag football.
Right.
So it'll be, since they've spread spring fling out over 2 weeks now, it'll be the first week of spring fling will be girls flag football, and then the second week will be the boys soccer and girls softball. Now, we're not hosting tennis this year or track and field, but we did pick up the girls flag football.
And that will be at Siegel?
Yes, it'll be at Siegel Soccer. We hosted the inaugural tournament this past year, or they were testing to see how popular it would be, and they found out it's maybe more popular than football.
Maybe.
They had a tremendous amount of girls turn out, and then had a great finals. And so this year we're excited about doing that. And
you're kind of seeing that too, aren't you, with the city?
We are. This year, our first year ever, we're hosting girls flag football in the spring. And matter of fact, they're beginning registration. And for the girls flag football begins January 2nd, after the first of the year. So this is all middle school girls, or I think it goes from 8 to 13. But you can check our website, Murfreesboro Parks, for that information. But definitely, if you've got young daughters aspiring to be a high school flag football player, this is a great way to get them started.
I tell you, nothing in the 30 years that I've paid close attention to high school sports, nothing has exploded faster than girls flag football.
It was incredible, wasn't it? Just amazing. And we were anticipating a few teams for this inaugural tournament, and they called us, well, we're going to need more fields. We've got a lot of girls. So.
And I know right here in Rutherford County, it was, extremely popular. I think most of the high schools fielded a team, and so that's good to see.
Extremely competitive too.
Yes,
I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
In some cases, very little more exciting than our one-sided football games we have on occasion.
Boy, isn't that the truth? So, well, sign-ups for that will start January 2nd.
Right.
There's some other things. Let's look ahead to 2026, and I've heard Bart talking on our Good Neighbor events about, get the passes to the athletic facilities.
We got the BOGO going, the buy one, get one free, and that you can buy a month and get 2 months free, or you can buy a year, get a year free. And then, or if you have a friend or a relative you'd like to split that with, and two of you can go in together, and you get a year, they get a year. So you have a workout partner or a buddy.
There you go.
That goes on through January 18th. So take advantage of that. That's a great benefit to city or residents and to anyone that uses those facilities.
And the best place, I guess, is just to go to the website to get that.
Right. To get the information, you have to go in person. So you have to do that at Sportscom or Patterson.
Okay.
But they can get you signed up at the front desk. They've been doing BOGO they started on the 15th, so they're all in the groove now. But this is one of our most popular campaigns. We get a good majority of our yearly passes purchased through this buy one, get one free holiday special.
So Murfreesboro Parks and Rec, just go to the city's webpage. It's
MurfreesboroParks.com.
Okay, parks.com. I was trying to think, and it automatically goes to that page real quick, and I couldn't pull it up. So all kinds of information, the holiday schedule there.
Everything we talk about, all of that's in there. So.
Yeah. So we mentioned
the
start
New Year's
of the year.
Day.
Yeah.
To kick it off right, we have the New Year's Day 5K. There is only a few spots available. I think they're only able to handle 500 because it's at Barfield Park. It's one of the only races we have at Barfield Crescent Park. So if you're a trail runner or enjoy running with beautiful scenery, I would encourage you to sign up or try to get involved there. You can check that out at the website as well. But that'll be, they'll start at 10 a.m.
Well, if you wait much longer, you won't have a spot.
Right,
so, so get on that for sure.
It's filling up fast for sure.
Before we go further into January, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Murfreesboro Christmas Parade. And my goodness, was that the coldest day ever?
It was a very cold parade. I had to.
Someone should start keeping a record on what the temperature was to see if we ever match that again.
Right. Well, Franklin canceled theirs because of the cold. So kudos to all of the troopers that were out there. I think we did have one dance team that participated.
Yeah.
And there might have been a few folks that decided not to participate, but it was a beautiful. And I couldn't believe how many people came out to watch in the cold.
Yeah. Some of the bands didn't have their instruments, but they still marched.
Right.
I mean, there are certain temperatures that you can't blow a tuba, so you know.
Right, it might stick to your lips, right?
So, hats off for that.
They did an incredible job. The Parks Department with the Police Department, and that's a major event in terms of security. The police does a fantastic job. The fire department, they helped out and assisted in a lot of different ways. So that was an example of the whole city coming together for an event, and that's what we're seeing now with Darren Gores, our city manager, of course, and he's really promoted the service leadership. And it's infiltrated all areas of the city, and it's a real team effort. I see that, many years. There might have been a few that we didn't see that as much, but that now with the council and the city manager and his leadership, they're really moving us in a good direction.
Thomas Laird with us with Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation. Let's talk some January events, and I bet one question you always get, even though that it's changed the last couple of years, is the old polar bear plunge.
The old polar bear plunge. It's no longer the plunge; it's the cold plunge. We've geared it towards the fitness craze and trying to get everyone started. But we have a month-long campaign that goes on. It's Start Strong, and the Start Strong events offers samplers at all of our facilities. There's several dates there. For example, we'll be at St. Clair Senior Center on January 9th, and they'll do samplers of all their classes, so you can kind of get a little feel for all of it without having to do a 45-minute or hour-long class. And they'll do the same thing over at SportsCom on the 10th, and then again on the 17th at Patterson Park. And then the plunge, like you're talking about, will be the final event, and it'll be on January 31st. And that's the cold plunge, or what formerly known as the polar bear plunge.
Yeah.
And I know you're coming out to plunge, right?
I have been out to watch a time or two, but never to do the plunge itself.
Well, Bart Fight, I don't know that he's ever missed a plunge.
Is that right?
He's plunged every year.
I bet. I mean, there are some. I remember when the late Doug Young was here. He was always there.
Yep. We have several that have plunged every year. That event's been going on more than 20 years. So
yeah.
It is very popular. But it's really pushed. We had a great event last year where they did the samplers at SportsCom a few hours before the actual plunge. And, I mean, those classes were full. And that's what's prompted them to do 4 different weeks mm-hmm. of the sampler classes to give everybody at all of our facilities a chance to experience that.
And a little fun run with the actual cold plunge.
Right.
Fitness.
We have a walk race or a walk run there at SportsCom around McKnight Park to kind of get the juices flowing before you do the actual plunge itself.
Well, the thing about January 31st, it could be 75 and sunny, or it could be 10 degrees.
Right. It is a toss-up. I remember one year, it was that unusually warm year. And our former parks director had the maintenance guys pouring ice in the pool. They wanted it cold.
Just to get it cold enough.
It was still very cold. I mean, it takes a long time for that water to warm up. So, in my experience, if it's warmer outside than it is in the water, it is very cold getting out. But if it's
I can imagine.
If it's cold getting out.
And we've had some really, really cold ones too.
Right. Oh yeah, we've had them, down right around the teens or single digits. So,
well, that's it takes a person with maybe one wire loose to do that.
It is
maybe.
very invigorating. I will say, I can see the health benefits. I know a lot of people do that, and it's not just jump in, jump out. They work over time. But I've jumped in before and got right back out, and I didn't feel the benefits as much. But
you just felt cold.
One year, Bart Fight, he and I were standing next to each other, and we jumped in right there at the deep end. And then we come up, he said, "Oh, my glasses." And he had forgot to take his glasses off. They were at the bottom of the deep end. Now, that was a very invigorating
Did he have to go get those?
I went and got them for him.
Oh, wow.
Very invigorating day.
What a friend. You got to have friends like that.
I mean, anybody that ever met Bart
That's
will do anything for him.
That's true. Well, it's been fun catching up with you. A lot going on. Murfreesboroparks.com. All of the information about everything that's coming up. And again, don't forget to let your voice be heard and take part in that survey.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bryan.
Thomas, appreciate it. Thomas Laird joining us here on the Action Line. Stay tuned. We'll have more to come here in just a second.